Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis. It is July 15th. Xur has arrived in the tower. He's over here in the hangar, top right corner section up here. You can see my little icon. So let's see what he's got. All right, for the exotic weapon, we've got the Suros Regime Auto Rifle, the OG from a long time ago, even back from Destiny 1. Still a fun weapon to use, though. You've got Hammer Forged, you've got Tactical Mag, and then you've got the option to switch to either spinning up, which is what a lot of people use. Holding the trigger down increases the rate of fire. Dual Speed Receiver did get a bump in damage. Slows the rate of fire, gives it a bit more range on it as well. So it's not a bad option depending on your feel on it. And then, of course, a little extra stability. Catalyst really does make a difference on this one, so working on getting that one. But again, it's an old one, but if you don't have it, yeah, make sure you get it. It's quite good. For the hunters, we've got the Bombardiers. These are leg armor, and your perk is Parting Gift. Dodging leaves behind an explosive that detonates after a short delay, damaging targets around it, creating a secondary effect based on the subclass you're using. It blinds targets if you're going Arc, which could be a cool thing next season with Arc 3.0. Scorches targets with fire, suppresses targets with void, and then slows targets with stasis. Stats on this one, 17 mobility, not a bad thing when you're already working on getting a good dodge in the first place. You're almost up to that 20. The recovery is very low, but I also know right now, say like Classy Restoration is taking care of your recovery, so you could go more into that resilience build if that's what you're leaning into. It is very high on intellect, which I don't think is really benefiting this one that much. If that was more discipline, strength, a little more split between the bottom three, I think that would be a little better, but still a 63 decent mobility on a dodging exotic. Not too bad. You definitely could do worse if you're trying to get one of these the first time. Not a bad pickup to use and experiment and see if you like it. The Titans, we've also got Ashen Wake, the Bring the Heat. Fusion grenades now explode on impact and gain increased throw speed. Final blows with fusion grenades grant grenade energy back, so you can get these things up much more frequently, which is a good thing. We've got 19 in the discipline slot with a total of 63. The mobility is probably a little high if I was going to be using this for me, but you still got double digits in resilience. Recovery is almost up there to 10, and some strength, not too much wasted on intellect to really worry too much about your super, but it is a grenade-based exotic, and you've got 19 in discipline. Decent stats for a Titan. Can't, again, if you don't have this one, don't have a great roll on it, this is not a bad way to go. Not like God tier, but it's still a pretty solid roll, especially if you're looking for a reasonable one. Okay, for the Warlocks, for PvE, I'm going to tell you right now to buy this. Just because, for one, I don't know if I've seen a 70 stat roll from Xur ever. If it has been a very long time. Arc 3.0 is also coming next season. Arc ability kills increase the recharge rate of your Arc abilities, and you've got 16 in discipline and 16 in strength, which is honestly probably about as high as you're going to split those two, and extends the duration of Storm Trance, which we know Arc 3.0 is probably going to rework Storm Trance, I hope, because it feels like it's the one that needs it the most. And you've got 30 in resilience, so if you're looking for a PvE build, 30 in resilience is definitely going to help you bump up that one for your damage mitigation in PvE situations. So honestly, you could put a recovery mod on this one and bump it up even more as well. So you masterwork this thing, get about 13 in recovery. I just gotta say, you have to buy this one just because the 70 alone, you've got the discipline and strength at 16, resilience for a PvE build. Please buy this exotic next season. This could be just absolutely fantastic. So for Hawkmoon, you've got Rangefinder. So this one's going to basically increase your effective range. And then also you've got a boost to stability and a boost to range, but you all are going to be giving up handling on both of these. So the gun may feel a little bit sluggish depending on your playstyle. I don't know if this is going to be God tier. Some in the comments let me know your thoughts on this one. I don't know if I would buy this one. I have had the Hawkmoon for a while. And then when it comes to Dead Man's Tale, you've got Moving Target. Not bad in PvP, but again, if you're going aim down sights or if you're aiming from the hip, kind of a 6 of one, half dozen other. You got stability, handling, and range. Not a bad set of perks on the outside. Moving target kind of depends on how you use the weapon generally, but overall, probably also not God tier. The only reason I say not God tier, because it takes a Cypher and an Ascendant Shard, and I know those are hard to come by for a lot of people. So unless it is like the epitome of the best roll, these are always hard to recommend. So when it comes to the legendary weapons, not too much is exciting, so I'm going to go fast through them. Threat Detector, High Impact Reserves, not bad for a hand cannon, but not amazing either. Surplus, Tap the Trigger, that's kind of okay. Sneak Bow, I just can't ever recommend that one. Clown Cartridge, Opening Shot, Snipers just really aren't doing it for me right now, and Clown Cartridge, if you like him in PvP, isn't doing you much. Opening Shot, not bad. Hipfire Grip and Opening Shot kind of seems counterintuitive, but may help you depending on how you use it. I will say, though, Corsair's Wrath, just because this is a near impossible gun to get outside of Xur, buy this. Even if it's not the best, it is a solar linear fusion rifle that is not exotic. And there's not really a lot of those. You've got Unrelenting, so if you get kills, you've got Killing Wind, which again works together at least. You've got either liquid coils to boost the impact damage, which is good with range, and then a nice corkscrew rifling or range if you want it. And this one's going to have blast radius, which is a busted, this is not right. So I don't know if this is ever going to be fixed per se, but again, if you don't have Corsair's Wrath, it is worth it alone just to buy it in case there are moments you're like, I need a solar linear fusion rifle that isn't exotic. There's literally kind of like, oh, I don't know, one in the entire game. If you go up to collections, not exotics, go to weapons, heavies, linear fusion rifles. You got Cataclysmic, which is going to be from the raid, which I know not a lot of you do. And that's it. That's the only one that is not Sunset. So you've got Corsair's Wrath, which is not from a raid, currently sold from Xur, or Cataclysmic, which is going to come from a raid. Those are your options when it comes to solar linear fusion rifles. So if you don't have one, please make sure you pick this one up. Just to have one in case. And then outside of that, you got Slide Shot, Sympathetic Arsenal for a sidearm. Could be okay, depends on what, your build is. For the Titan, for PvE, only a couple decent options. You got a 60, not really great, but you got a 64. 12 in resilience, even more in recovery. If you're leaning into a recovery build, maybe Classy Restoration goes away next season. Recovery is a bit more viable. Depends on how that kind of all works out. Still, I like resilience on a Titan for the class ability usage all the time, even without Classy Restoration. But a 64, decent stats, not much wasted on mobility. This is one that I would prefer. In my preference, 55, no. 63 with low strength, kind of wasted on intellect there. The mobility is a little higher than I would like. Okay stats. Decent chest piece for a Titan, though. All right, for the Warlock, it's kind of mediocre. A 60 with very little resilience and recovery. Can't really do that one, just too much mobility. 59, high recovery, but still not exactly even over 60. 61's not bad, but again, if you start farming high stats, you're going to probably be able to do that next week in Solstice, so I wouldn't recommend this one. A 63, little on the discipline, little high on strength. You got some resilience if you're leaning into that one. If you're trying to get some resilience up, this may help you a little bit, but again, you're probably going to be able to get better stats on something if you start farming. This one's only okay. For the Hunters, there's only one worthwhile piece. You got a 59, a 59. You'd have a 61, a little high recovery, but 2 mobility for a Hunter just isn't going to work. But a 65, high mobility, high recovery, discipline, intellect, and strength, total of 65. I know resilience is a popular thing to want, but a 65 with a distribution like this for a Hunter, not something you should probably pass up either. But that pretty much wraps up Xur for today. If you guys enjoy this weekend, as I said, Solstice is going to be kicking off on Tuesday, so look for my guide then. I will be posting that. So if you guys are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the alert bell. Make sure you get that guide coming into your YouTube feed so you can use that one to figure out all the things of Solstice. Other than that, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like below, leave a comment. If you want to find me on Twitch or Twitter, it's Ebontis there. Those of you who are YouTube members or Patreon subs, thanks for that extra support. I'll see you soon.